Coming up, our next guest is a man who is a part of what I think is one of the greatest teams in BYU basketball history. The 2010-2011 team that made the Sweet 16. His name is Charles Abouo. Welcome back to BYU Sports Nation, Charles.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
What are you up to these days? I know you're playing pro ball. You've been playing with the Ivory Coast national team. We see you on Twitter. You had some cool comments regarding the burned jerseys or not. We'll get to that in a moment, but what are you up to?
Just still playing. I just got back from France about 6 weeks ago. Played in France in a city called Valenciennes this year in Pro B. It's second division of the L&B in France. So, yep, that's what I've been up to, and now I'm just looking to see what's next on the horizon.
Different league than Brandon Davies, who played in Monaco?
Yeah, so that there's like 5 divisions in France. Brandon was in Pro A, and yeah, my team was in Pro B. Yeah.
One of the things that's coming up pretty quickly is a thing called the tournament. And it's cool that even when players move on, it's always a good time when BYU faces Utah. You're going to be part of Team Fredette, and it just so happens that you guys are taking on Team Utah in Vegas. How did you get involved with Team Fredette?
Yeah, I think TJ Jimmer's brother just he hit me up about it about a couple months ago. He's been on it for a while. It's a really great tournament. There's lots of really good players, and a lot of the teams are alumni-based teams. And he had an idea of putting together a team, and asked me to be a part of it, and I thought it'd be fun.
So it's 5-on-5. It's guys that are out of college. Anybody can kind of play in this league. What's it like?
Yeah, so it's a 5-on-5 tournament. It's set up kind of like the NCAA tournament with the 64 teams and winner go home. And so you have to get voted in. You have to set up a profile for your team, and you have to get so many social media votes. And it's a legitimate tournament. I have a friend, Todd O'Brien, who plays for Overseas Elite, the team who won it 2 years in a row. And I played when I was playing in Qatar. He was playing there also, and we talked about it. And it's legit, and his team won it twice, and he made some pretty good money out of it. So.
You played in Qatar. Where have you played since you graduated?
So I played 2 years in Spain, and then I didn't want to go back to Spain the third year, and I didn't have a contract for a while that I liked, so I was around here. And then in February I wasn't really doing too much, so I decided to go play in Egypt for 3 months. And that's how I ended up in Qatar the following year. And the Middle East was cool, but I definitely wanted to get back to Europe. So I reached out to some people I knew in France, and I got the gig in France last year.
What's that been like to further your career and kind of see the world? I know, obviously, you were born in the Ivory Coast. Mm-hmm. You ended up living in Logan, come to BYU, but you've been all over the place, man. That's cool.
Yeah, it's definitely not what you expect or plan to do. It's probably nice to be in the same spot, maybe in the States or whatever, playing in the NBA and staying in a great league in Europe. But sometimes different things happen, and for me, I've been fortunate I've enjoyed my experiences everywhere I've been. It's not maybe something I would have planned, but it's something that I've gotten a lot of, and I've really enjoyed.
You probably thought that your days playing Utah were over. How excited are you to be able to play the Utes again?
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. I talked to TJ, and there's quite a bit of teams based out of Utah in this. So they all come out of the West region, so they want to kind of put them up against each other so there's not too many later on. But it'll be fun. I know a lot of those guys. The only thing I'm worried about is they always play together. They're always together playing pickup and things like that. And it's really not a BYU-Utah thing because we have, I think, 2 BYU guys.
Who's the other, Brandon?
Yeah, Brandon. And we have BYU connections, obviously, because the Fredettes put the team together. So we don't really know our teammates too well, but I think hopefully we'll get down there tonight and tomorrow and practice, and hopefully we can beat the Utes because that's always nice to do.
Well, as you mentioned, now Jimmer is not playing in this. He is a coach in this. But is there any chance that he may have like a jersey on underneath the clothes and could somehow get onto the floor and play?
Like a Superman thing?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
I think from what I heard, he might play if wait, no. Let me just let me clarify. I didn't hear this from him, so I can't speak for him. But
You just say allegedly, and then you can say anything.
okay, allegedly, there's like a 1% chance that if we end up moving on and we need some help, then there's a 1% chance maybe he could play.
So you're saying
you're saying there's a chance. Charles Abouo, former BYU basketball player, pro player, has played internationally with the Ivory Coast national team, is on BYU Sports Nation. BYU's been in the West Coast Conference after being in the Mountain West back in your day. Did you play 1 year in the West Coast Conference? Your senior year?
Yeah, my senior year.
Yeah. What have you seen from BYU hoops, kind of post Jimmer, if you will, with this program? Where do you think they're at? How's it going, in your opinion?
I think I kind of take it as it is because the coaches do their best, the players leave it out on the floor, and we have great athletic administration as well. So it's hard to I try to take the expectations out of it personally, and for me I like to just watch and see how the teams get put together and how they mesh. And I think it's been solid. I mean, college basketball is a tough business, and there's a lot of talent right now. But I think the coaches are doing a good job, and I think every year they seem to really address some of their weaknesses from the year before and try to do what they can to improve on that. And last year they had a talented team. They were really young, but I see these guys here quite a bit. I see them working hard, and they've got a lot of really, really good pieces. And obviously they lost Eric Mika, but I think there's a chance for a lot of guys to step up, and maybe there's a chance for all of them to kind of maybe do a little bit more as a group and come together as a group. And I think if they do that, they'll have a really good year.
What did you make of the Mika decision to go pro?
I mean, I wasn't. It's hard to say because you're like I take my what I expect out of it, and I just kind of look at the situation, and I really can't criticize him for that decision because he thought it was the best decision for himself. He had a really good sophomore year. I know, he obviously served the mission, so he's a little older. He was a little older as a sophomore, so he's probably the same age as a lot of outgoing seniors. And for him, if he wanted that chance to start his professional career, that's his choice, and I don't think people can knock him for that. And that's the best decision. That was the best decision for him. He's a great kid. He's a smart kid. I mean, you can go play professionally and still, finish your degree later. I'm sure that's something that he'll probably want to do. But if you were going to go play anyway, you weren't going to really use that degree right away anyway. So I think he made the best decision for himself, and no one can criticize that. And I wish him the best. And I think he'll be really successful as a pro.
He'll get paid to play, that's for sure. You had this great idea on Twitter. So Gordon Hayward goes to the Celtics. A select couple of fans maybe burn some Gordon Hayward jerseys. You had this great idea about not burning jerseys and what you could do with those. Tell everyone what your idea was.
Yeah, I just saw people kind of going crazy over the, burn jersey thing, and I kind of when LeBron left Cleveland, you saw it on TV, and as a player, I didn't really like that. These guys, obviously they sacrifice a lot and they do a lot on the court for their fans, and at the end of the day, we get attached as fans of sports, but it's their decision to do the best thing for their career.
It was the decision for LeBron.
Yeah, right, right. And no one talked about how that donated money for charity and all that when he
Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah, but they just burned the jerseys. But anyway, I just thought it'd be cool instead of burning them. You could send them to kids who don't have jerseys. I mean, I'm from the Ivory Coast and I've been there. It's there's just not accessibility to jerseys. Even if most kids probably can't afford them, but even the kids that can, there's not really just a lot of accessibility to jerseys and things like that. So, I just thought it'd be cool to maybe get some together and maybe send them out. And I know there's already a foundation doing that. I saw it on KSL, so I put a link to that on Twitter. They could probably do it more effectively than I can.
Well, donate your jerseys. That's a great idea. I love it. Charles, it was great to catch up with you. Good luck in the offseason here. Hopefully you're back playing in Europe, and we'll get your Herbie Hancock, your signature up here on the flag if we could.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me,
Charles
guys.
Abouo.